While there has been a huge push to stop the rash of anti-Asian hate, there's still more work to be done. A cartoon controversy sparked by a recent image drawn by the Daily News' editorial cartoonist Bill Bramhall is nothing to laugh about. The newspaper changed that image following a massive backlash, but some say the damage was already done. Let's bring in Betty Ng. She is the founder of Inspiring Diversity, which is an organization that works to promote inclusion in businesses. And she joins us this morning to discuss why that cartoon really sparked such outrage. So good morning, Betty. Good to see you.
Good morning, Betty. Great to see you as well.
All right, I want to get your opinion here because you saw the cartoon. What was your first thought when you saw it?
So when I first saw that caricature of Andrew Yang with the disfigured face and the slanty eyes, and that the speech bubble that said the tourists are back, my initial reaction was of anger. And I felt that it was just perpetuating racist imagery and stereotypes. And in fact, my Caucasian husband also had the same initial reaction.
Well, you know, the editor for the Daily News and the artist both stand by that cartoon, claiming that it was meant to depict Yang as an outsider, following a recent interview where he did say his favorite train station is Times Square, which is generally avoided by native New Yorkers. However, he does live there. And critics say that the depiction of his facial features can be seen as microaggression. So help us understand what that means, because we're seeing a lot of these microaggressions as well.
Yeah. So one thing to know about microaggressions is that they're oftentimes subtle, indirect, and even unintentional acts of discrimination against a group. And so being the builder of inclusive culture that I am, I actually, after seeing the image at first, I didn't want to prematurely judge Bill Bramhall. And so I actually did look at some of his other work. And I think that it didn't really indicate that he was a racist or anything. But the important thing to note, again, about microaggressions is that they're oftentimes unintentional. But as we know, oftentimes what we intend is not the impact. And the impact of his work was that it hurt us as a community that's already in pain, that is already on edge in this environment of increased anti-Asian hate.
Well, Andrew Yang's wife did tweet out that the Daily News cartoon alongside an older cartoon with a racist depiction of Asian Americans. So to give you some perspective there, give us some historical context of the older image, if you will.
Right. Yeah. So, as many of us know, there has been a longer history of discrimination against Asians, even before the Exclusion Act of 1882. And there's also been a very long history related to the depiction of Asians with the slanty eyes as perpetual foreigners, speaking imperfect English. And such images have really hurt us as a community, these negative stereotypes. And Dr. Seuss, you may recall, a few months back, even pulled 6 of their books because they realized that this racist imagery was not acceptable. Children, all of us are impressionable, and we are the results, and our biases are the results of our access, exposure, upbringing, and education. And so it is important not to, perpetuate these racist images and stereotypes.
Well, I want to talk about Andrew Yang's statement, because he did release one on Twitter saying, quote, "To paint me in the media as a perpetual foreigner to this city is wrong and subtly approves racism at a time when people are being beaten on the street on the basis of who they are." He goes on to say that he's lived in the city for 25 years. His wife, Evelyn, is from Queens. His children were born at St. Luke's, and he is a public school parent. Implying otherwise is the repetition of a narrative that's been used to tell Asians and Latinos and Jews and Muslims and Black Americans that we do not belong. And I think that speaks to what you've been talking about. You can perpetuate this, whether it being intentional or not, but those subtle images, those subtle words, those subtle actions make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really believe that, this is very much a teachable moment, right? That for all of us that we really need to be mindful of our actions. We may think one way, and perhaps Bill Bromhall does not see Asians as foreigners, but we really do need to be very mindful of our actions.
Absolutely. All right, Betty, we appreciate your insight today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care.